Aaron Cole had learned that silence was often safer than words, but the moment he stepped into his narrow corridor and saw the figure leaning against his doorway, even silence failed him. She stood there as if she belonged. Tall, graceful, skin a smooth pale blue tone that marked her as non-human, eyes bright with intelligence and mischief. She wore nothing except confidence. No armor, no tools, no sign of fear, just a bold grin that made the air feel heavier. "Well," she said, her voice calm and amused. "Say something." Aaron froze for half a second. Then training took over. He turned his head away immediately, reached for the emergency locker on the wall, and pulled out a thermal blanket. He tossed it toward her without looking directly at her face. "Cover yourself," he said evenly. "This is a military facility." The grin faded just a little, replaced by surprise. She caught the blanket easily, wrapping it around herself, still watching him closely. "You are not reacting the way the others do," she said. Aaron finally looked at her, keeping his expression controlled. "Others, pirates, traders, nobles," she tilted her head. "They stare, they smile, they try to bargain." "I'm not interested," Aaron replied. "Now tell me how you got past 3 security checkpoints without triggering an alarm." She laughed softly, not mocking, curious. "Humans really are different," she said. Before Aaron could respond, the base alert chimed quietly in his wrist display. No active alarms. That was strange. Someone had bypassed the system cleanly. "Name," he said. "Cythera," she answered. "Former citizen of the Verks Dominion, currently unwanted." That made Aaron tense. The Verks were not a minor species. They were proud, aggressive, and respected across coalition space. Their citizens did not simply wander into human outposts by accident. "You're in the wrong place," Aaron said. "If the Dominion is hunting you, they'll find you." "They believe humans are irrelevant," Cythera said calmly. "That belief is why I am here." Aaron studied her more carefully now. Her posture was relaxed, but her eyes never stopped moving. She was alert, measuring everything. This was no reckless stunt. "You're naked," he said bluntly. "That's a strange way to ask for asylum." Her lips curved again. "Among my people, vulnerability is honesty. I came with nothing, no lies, no weapons." Aaron sighed quietly and stepped aside. "Get dressed, then we'll talk." She followed him into the small living area, looking around with open interest. The room was simple: metal walls, a table, a bunk, nothing decorative. "You live like soldiers," she said. "That's because we are soldiers," Aaron replied. She sat on the edge of the chair, blanket still wrapped around her. "Then you understand loyalty," he nodded slowly. "I understand rules." "Good," she said. "I am asking you to break one." That got his full attention. She explained quickly, efficiently. She had questioned a Verks tradition that treated certain members of their society as property rather than people. She had spoken publicly. That alone was enough to mark her as dangerous. "They will retrieve me," she said. "Alive if possible, quietly if convenient." "And if not?" Aaron asked. She met his gaze. "They will erase this place." Aaron did not react outwardly, but inside his mind raced. The human outpost was small, underfunded, and officially classified as a research relay. The coalition barely remembered it existed. "Why us?" he asked. "Because humans protect what they accept," Cythera said, "and because no one expects you to matter." That sentence stayed with him. Before he could respond, the base-wide communication channel activated. The commander's voice echoed through the hall. "All personnel report to Central. We have an unidentified contact entering system." Cythera stood. "They are early." Aaron cursed under his breath. Central Command was tense. Holographic displays showed 3 Verks ships emerging from hyperspace, not a full fleet. A retrieval team. Commander Reyes looked at Aaron sharply when he entered. "Lieutenant, care to explain why Dominion vessels are knocking on our door?" Aaron hesitated for exactly 1 second. Then he spoke. "There is a Verks citizen requesting protection," he said. "She is unarmed and inside the base." The room went silent. "You brought a Dominion problem into this outpost?" Reyes asked slowly. "She brought herself," Aaron replied. "I didn't invite her, but she hasn't harmed anyone." Cythera stepped forward, blanket still around her shoulders. She bowed her head respectfully. "I request asylum under human law," she said. "I submit myself to your judgment." The commander studied her for a long moment. "We don't have the power to deny the Dominion." "We have the right," Aaron said quietly. Reyes looked at him sharply. "This could get people killed." Cythera met the commander's eyes. "I will not ask you to die for me," she said, "only to decide who you are." That was the moment things changed. The Verk's transmission came through seconds later. Their representative did not bother with politeness. "Human outpost," the alien voice said. "Return the exile, this does not concern you." Commander Reyes straightened. "She is on human territory, we will review the request." The alien paused. That alone was rare. "You delay the inevitable," the Verk said. "Humans lack authority." Aaron watched Cythera closely. She showed no fear, only interest. "Authority," the commander replied, "comes from choosing not to surrender." The transmission ended. Around the room, humans moved quietly to their stations. No panic, no shouting, just preparation. Cythera exhaled slowly. "You did not do what I expected." Aaron allowed himself a small smile. "Get used to that." Outside the viewport, the Verk's ships held position, waiting. And for the first time in a long while, a powerful alien force was unsure what humans would do next. "If you want, I can continue with part 2, 2,000 words, same style, more tension and HFY moments when you say so." The waiting was worse than the fear. The Verk's ships stayed just outside weapons range, their dark shapes hanging in space like predators that knew time was on their side. Inside the human outpost, the mood was tense but controlled. No one shouted. No one panicked. People checked systems, shared quiet jokes, and followed orders with steady focus. Cythera noticed that first. She stood near the observation window beside Aaron, watching humans prepare. No ritual cries, no displays of dominance, just calm, shared purpose. "Your people do not show fear," she said softly. "We feel it," Aaron replied. "We just don't let it drive." That answer stayed with her. Commander Reyes gathered the senior staff. The outpost had limited weapons, outdated shields, and a crew that was never meant to face a Dominion force. Still, plans were made. Defensive formations were mapped. Old satellites were activated, their systems repurposed in ways the Coalition manual never intended. Cythera was asked to remain in a secured section, but she refused politely. "If you fight because of me," she said, "then I will stand where I can see the cost." Reyes studied her, then nodded once. "Stay close, follow instructions." That alone surprised her. Among the Verks, someone like her would have been locked away or silenced. Humans gave her responsibility instead. The first Verk's transmission came an hour later. This time the tone was colder. "Human commander," the alien voice said, "your delay is noted. Transfer the exile now or we proceed." Reyes answered calmly. "Under what authority?" A pause, then, "By right of dominance." Several humans exchanged looks. Aaron almost smiled. "We don't recognize that," Reyes said. "You may leave." The channel closed. Cythera felt something unfamiliar tighten in her chest. Pride, perhaps, or hope. When the first probe was launched, it moved slowly, deliberately. A test. Human sensors tracked it instantly. "Electronic intrusion," a technician called out. "They're scanning our shield harmonics." "Let them," Reyes said, "mirror their signal." The probe's feed filled with noise. Verk's tech was advanced, but it was rigid. Human systems were messy, adaptive, full of patches and half-forgotten workarounds. The probe retreated. A second transmission followed almost immediately. "Your technology is inefficient," the Verk's commander said. "You will not survive an engagement." "Maybe," Reyes replied, "but you'll remember it." The first shot was not fired by the humans. A Verk's ship launched a warning blast that scraped the outer defense array. No damage, just a message. That was enough. Human batteries came online, not powerful individually, but layered, overlapping, coordinated. Drones launched in swarms, each cheap, fast, and unpredictable. The outpost's old satellites shifted position, creating false targets and distorted readings. Cythera watched in disbelief. "This is not how war is fought," she said. Aaron kept his eyes on the displays. "It is for us." The Verk's ships advanced, confident in their superior firepower. They did not expect humans to close distance so aggressively. They did not expect decoys to ram shields. They did not expect systems that kept functioning even when half-disabled. One Verk's ship took a direct hit, not enough to destroy it, but enough to force it back. The Dominion commander hesitated. That hesitation cost them. Human reinforcements were never supposed to arrive this fast, but they did. Small patrol ships, civilian retrofits, even a coalition freighter that answered a distress call without hesitation. Cythera felt her breath catch as she realized what was happening. "They came," she whispered. "Humans answer calls," Aaron said, "even when it's inconvenient." The battle did not end in victory. It ended in stalemate. The Verks withdrew, not defeated, but no longer certain. Their final message was short. This matter is not concluded. When the ships vanished into hyperspace, the outpost remained standing. Silence followed. Then laughter, then exhausted relief. Cythera sat down slowly, her legs suddenly weak. She had believed humans were overlooked because they were insignificant. Now she understood the truth. They were overlooked because they had not yet chosen to be seen. Commander Reyes approached her. "You're safe for now, but this won't be the last time." She nodded. "I know." He studied her carefully. "You changed things today, whether you meant to or not." "So did you," she replied. Later in the quiet that followed, Cythera returned to Aaron's doorway. This time she was wrapped in proper clothing provided by the med bay. She leaned against the frame, expression softer, thoughtful. "You never did answer me," she said. Aaron raised an eyebrow. "About what?" She smiled faintly. "That first moment when I told you to say something." He considered that, then answered honestly. "I was thinking that the galaxy was about to underestimate us again." Her smile widened, not bold this time, but sincere. "Then," she said, "I chose the right doorway." Outside, the stars burned quietly, unaware that something fundamental had shifted. Humanity had not won, but it had been noticed. The silence after the Verk's withdrawal did not feel like peace. It felt like a breath being held. The human outpost returned to routine, but everyone knew it was only temporary. Systems were repaired, shields recalibrated, patrols doubled. Messages were sent through quiet channels that were never used for official reports. Cythera noticed everything. She walked the corridors freely now, no longer treated as a danger or a burden. People greeted her with nods, brief smiles, and cautious curiosity. No one stared, no one bowed, no one demanded gratitude. That unsettled her more than fear ever had. Among the Verks, survival came from dominance. Among humans, survival came from cooperation. It was a strange strength, subtle and dangerous. Aaron spent long hours in the command center, helping prepare for what everyone knew was coming next. The Dominion would not forgive embarrassment. They would not accept delay as defeat. "They'll come back with more ships," Cythera said one night as she joined him at the viewport. "Yeah," Aaron replied, "they always do." She studied his face. "You're not afraid," he shrugged. "I am just not enough to stop." That answer stayed with her. The warning came 3 days later, not an attack, a declaration. Verk's war vessels appeared at the edge of the system, many more than before, not a fleet meant to negotiate, a fleet meant to end a problem. Coalition channels lit up with frantic signals, orders, warnings, silence from systems that suddenly chose not to answer. The outpost was no longer ignored. Commander Reyes addressed the crew calmly. "We hold as long as we can. Help is coming, but we don't know when." No one left their station. Cythera stood among them, hands clenched, heart pounding. This time the cost would be real. Lives would be lost, all because she had chosen to speak. She stepped forward. "I will surrender," she said. "End this." The room froze. Aaron turned sharply. "No," Reyes raised a hand, thoughtful but firm. "That choice isn't yours alone. It is because of me," Cythera insisted. "I won't let humans die for my defiance." Reyes looked at her carefully. "We're not dying for defiance," he said. "We're standing because we chose to." Outside, the Verk's fleet moved into formation. The first strike was overwhelming. Shields flared and dimmed. Defense arrays overheated. The outpost shook violently. Human ships launched anyway. They were outmatched, outgunned, but they did not retreat. They fought smart. They fought together. Small ships harassed larger ones, drawing fire away from critical systems. Drones swarmed weapon ports. Human pilots communicated constantly, adjusting tactics in real time. Cythera watched the battle unfold and finally understood the truth. Humans did not fight to win quickly. They fought to endure. One by one, coalition ships answered the call, not because of treaties, but because humans had helped them before. Shared fuel, shared food, shared protection when no one else cared. The sky filled with allies the Dominion never expected. The Verk's commander transmitted again, fury barely contained. "You are prolonging extinction," Commander Reyes answered, voice steady. "You should have studied us better." The turning point came when Cythera made her choice. She accessed the Verk's communication channel using codes she had memorized long ago. She spoke openly, broadcasting to both sides. "I am Cythera," she said. "I was raised to believe strength meant control. Humans taught me strength means responsibility." The Verk's fleet hesitated. Her words spread fast. Among their ranks were those who had questioned quietly as she once had. Humans gave me protection without ownership, she continued. They stood knowing they might fall. That is not weakness. Silence followed, then something unprecedented happened. Several Verk ships broke formation, not to attack, to withdraw. The commander screamed orders, but authority cracked. Doubt spread faster than fear. The remaining ships fired wildly, disorganized. Human forces pressed forward, not to destroy, but to force retreat. Finally, the Verk's fleet jumped away. The battle ended not with annihilation, but with survival. The outpost still stood. The galaxy changed. Days later, official recognition arrived. Humanity was no longer classified as minor. New laws were written, new boundaries respected. Cythera was granted permanent asylum, not as a symbol, but as a citizen. On her last night in the outpost, she stood once more in Aaron's doorway, fully dressed, calm, real. "Well," she said softly, "say something." Aaron met her eyes. "You were right." "About what?" "Choosing humans," he said. She smiled, not boldly this time, but with quiet certainty. Across the stars, humanity's reputation shifted forever, not because they were the strongest, but because when someone leaned in their doorway and asked for protection, they answered.